5 habits to get your life back on track so you can go up and go to a place that you've not been before. Check out the video now. So what exactly are these 5 habits to get your life back on track? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do for you to get some momentum, to boldly go where you have not gone before. Now, the whole topic of habits is a subject that so many people are interested in. I have written 20 books published by the biggest publishers in the world, and this was one of them, published in 2003, Habit Busting. And I am as interested in that subject as I ever have been. Who was it that said, excellence is not an act? We are what we repeatedly do. It was the philosopher Aristotle. How long ago was that? It was a couple of thousand years ago. And it is just as applicable as it was then today, because our habits shape everything. I want to help you stop what is holding you back and help you to start what you need to start so you can go to a place, like I said, that you haven't gone before. So what are we looking at? Well, the first thing we need to look at if you want to get your life back on track is to look at the fact that your life might be off track a little bit. Now, I don't know whether you know this, but this is fascinating. This is supposed to be a space rocket, by the way. Let's just say it's one of the Apollo missions. Now, I heard this recently. Do you know how many miles it is to the moon? Well, apparently it's about 250,000 miles, which is a long way. But did you know from the time it takes to go to where it has to go, for every half an hour, it will only be on track for about 1 minute. So that means for the majority of its journey, it is off course. And I believe that is like how most of our lives are. And unless we decide where it is that we want to go and we put a few things in place, most of us will end up in a place we don't actually want to be. And this is a pretty bold statement to make, but I think most people today are actually creating a future they don't want. If you could take someone to the future and say, these are the habits that you currently have, keep doing them, don't change, this is how your future will turn out, I think most people would go, you know what? I don't want that. But you know what? You can actually change. But it's imperative to start off with where you are and to know you are where you are, because you're probably doing the very best that you can. Now, this video is called 5 Habits to Get You Back on Track. And the first thing I want you to do, the first habit, is to think about a reporter. Imagine that you have employed a reporter who's got access to everything you think, everything that you feel. He can see all of your habits. And at the end of the day, he is going to report to you his observations. And this day reflects a typical day in your life. What sorts of observations do you think they would make? And what's really important about this is that when you look at this, not to look at it as right or wrong or good or bad. It is what it is. And chances are in your life, you've just done what you thought was best. You've done what you did until you know better. And maybe now, with knowing better, I'm going to encourage you to do better, because I think the future will see 2 types of people. I think it will see more and more people who are just drifting, people who aren't really focused on anything, people who have just giving into every type of temptation and stimulation, not really focused on anything really meaningful or important. And we'll have another type of person, which is a person probably who looks a little bit like you, someone who decides to get better. And I want to ask you this question. What will be your greatest ever achievement in your life? Is it possible that the greatest ever achievement will be who you become? And if you want to become someone else, someone better, it's really imperative that you look at what's going on and you get a report on this. Take a moment to think about it, and that with everything that you see, everything that you do, what is it in your life that you would actually like to stop doing? And what is it you would actually like to start doing? We have seen so many people, the people we work with, the people that use our applications, the people that use our programs, that really look at this stuff and think, hang on, I'm going to pick one thing, just one. Just one thing to stop and one thing to start. And get really good at doing both of those things, because if you want to start something, in most cases, it's really important to stop. So the second habit is using this tool. This is called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and this became really popular through a lady called Mel Robbins. She's written a book called The 5-Second Rule, and it's really simple. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are a set of numbers going down to 0 that I want you to start saying to yourself to get yourself to activate. Activation energy to either move you to start the thing that you know that if you do it over a period of time, you're going to get yourself on track. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, maybe with the thing that you need to stop doing that takes you off track to stop yourself from doing this. This is such a simple concept. In fact, it's so simple. It's so easy to do. It's so easy not to do. And what she probably didn't realize when she created this, she was actually really helping with some of the real principles associated with the breaking of habits. And one of those is what's called the locus of control, which is where 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, what happens, there's a part of the brain, it's called the prefrontal cortex, that goes, what? What are we doing? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's play. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, activation energy. Because if you take action in 5 seconds, you're going to make progress. If you don't, you're going to have a big problem, which is why so many people go off track. And you know why that is? Distraction, procrastination. That if we don't act, that's where hesitation and self-doubt sets in. So that's number 2. Number 3 is tracking. Tracking is such an integral part of your success. What gets measured tends to get improved upon. Look, think about this. If I gave you a 10-pin bowling ball and said, I want you to bowl into this curtain, how long would it be until you went, you know what, this is boring. You can't see what's going on. You can't track your success. You can't see what happened from you bowling the ball because it's hit a curtain. Or imagine going to watch Venus Williams play Serena Williams in tennis, and they're just hitting the ball backwards and forwards. They're not actually playing in a game. Now imagine if they started to play in a game and the score comes in, then all of a sudden it's going to get your attention. And we know, because we've seen this with studies that show, even with something as simple as a pedometer that measures the amount of steps, in some randomized tests where people were given a pedometer, they tended to walk an extra mile every single day. What gets tracked gets improved upon. Absolutely essential to record your journey and, of course, celebrate all of the little wins. And the last 2 is, look, if you're doing something, if you've decided to start something, and if you've decided to stop something, it's really, 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 really important that you don't miss a day. There's something that is known as habit suicide. What does this mean? Basically, it means if you do something and you stop for 1 day, you might get away with it. If it's 2 days, it really becomes unlikely that you're going to get back into the habit of doing it. And if it's 3 days, it's almost like, you know what? You've got to start all over again. We are habit machines. And what we want to do, especially with what we do, with all of the coaching that we do, we want to help people to get them to do the things that they probably least want to do, for those to become the things that they most want to do. And the last habit to get yourself back on track is go public. Go public. Tell the world, this is me. This is what I'm stopping. This is what I'm starting. Tell people, tell your friends, tell your family. Some of them will probably think you're a bit crazy if you decide to get fitter or healthier or start a new business, whatever it is, because they might think that's not you, because they have an idea of who they think you are. And as I said earlier on in this video, what will be your greatest ever achievement? Maybe it will be who you choose to become. And if you go public, you'll probably find that some people hold you accountable, and you want to be held accountable for what you do. So, very quick recap. The first habit is get a reporter. Not literally get a reporter, that would be a bit weird. Imagine that you're reporting on what goes on inside your head for for a day is you start looking at the habits that serve you, the habits that maybe that don't serve you, and maybe make a list of the things, you know what, I want to start doing this, I want to stop doing this, and then decide to pick one of each, just one of each, and then use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to get yourself in the game, just to get started again and again and again and again and again. Otherwise, you'll be relying on how you feel. Don't rely on how you feel, because the inspiration that you want will come from getting in the game. Track what you're doing so you can start to see your success. Never miss a day and go public. If you want to take this to a whole new level, look, recently we created the Stop One, Start One program, which is totally unique. We are gamifying the whole experience of your development. A great life, it doesn't happen by chance, it happens by design. And this program was specifically put together to help you identify and then track. We created an app that goes along specifically with this, where every time you do your start, every time you do your stop, you get a coin. And the coin is like your identity capital. The greatest investment that you will ever make is the investment in the person that you are going to become. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. And by the way, check out the link below in the description, and you can go and see the program for yourself. It's amazing, and so are you.